4,
We're
3.
live.
Pod-A-Holics, episode 18.
Damn,
Coming
episode
to you.
18.
Coming to
Yo,
you
we might have to
live.
make season 2 here soon.
Yeah, but I need to start talking into the radio, into the mic. Real sensual. Pod-A-Holics, episode 18. Coming to you
Enough.
tonight.
Quit it.
Real smooth,
Enough.
sensual. What's up,
Yeah.
Pod-A-Holics, episode 18. We're going to talk OMG today. Oh
Oh,
my God, you guys talk about OMG so much. Oh my God.
yeah. Uncut jams.
We've only talked about it 3 times.
Well, technically
3
only
times.
like once the last time, and then just briefly kind of overviewed it a few times.
Briefly.
But yeah, so we just finished off our first week with OMG, Online Marketing and Growth Agency. It is really, really fucking cool, like how many people reached out and how many people are so interested in it that we literally had to put a cap on the amount of people that we actually let into our agency. It was kind of crazy.
Yes.
It was nuts.
And the reason we did that was because we really want to deliver on what we promise, and workload is one of those things that we just don't want to, kind of overdo. One of the best things about being an entrepreneur is that you can kind of decide what to do with your workload and whatnot. But I feel like when you go a little too far in how much you're taking on your plate, it does directly affect the kind of service that you give. And
Well,
go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna kind of keep going.
Oh
with
yeah, and
what
I'm
you were
having a
saying.
beer today, Pod-A-Holics. So a
I
beer for
love
the
it.
soul. I'm kind of sick today, and this is the cure. Yangling for the soul today.
Right, and like kind of really just going on to what you expanded with, and like just kind of exactly what you said. I was watching this one video, and it is actually Herbosi speaking. He was talking about how the business that he has, it allows him to have choices and allows him to have options as
Yes.
to what you're able to do with your life, with your time, and with what you're wanting to do.
I
So
saw that. Yep.
number one thing that we were really looking at doing with what we're doing with the agency is we want to keep it very small, because the other side of this is I even heard like this one thing, and it makes perfect sense. But if you kind of look at it this way, like you have 3 choices. It can be good, it can be cheap, and it can be fast. You can only pick 2.
From
So
what's his face?
I don't know. I saw it on
What's his name? What's his name?
I
He
honestly
smokes a
saw it.
cigar all the time.
I saw it on a reel, but yeah. Anyway, it was
Yeah.
like, well, if you want it fast and you want it good, it's going to be expensive. If you want it good and you want it, if you want it good and you want it cheap, it's not going to be fast. And if you want it fast and cheap, it's not going to be good. So that's kind of where it's like, well, we were kind of looking at this, and it just kind of plays into this, where I want this to be very successful. I want this for anyone that comes in this, which means we need to have a very small group. So that's where we're going to kind of go into this a little bit deeper, why we chose to have a small group and we're not just kind of running here, but we had to put a cap on it. It started feeling like we're starting downhill.
Yeah, I was.
And it's like your cat selfie, like, oh shit, I'm gonna eat it here in a second. But yeah, so okay, let's break some and just start putting a pause on this, because dude, I still have people reaching out right now, like, Corey, can please get on a call? I want to know what you guys are doing. I'm like, hey, right now.
Yeah, I actually have a call today with another person.
Yeah, no, I have 3 more calls, and we technically have 2 more spots, and that's why we're like, yeah, so we're gonna have to put a break on this. We are creating a free Facebook group where we're gonna be giving resources, live trainings, things like that, for getting yourself situated to where when we open up more spots inside of OMG, you'll be able to apply for those areas, because that's gonna be the other side of this as well. And another thing that's going to differ for us from mentorships is going to, and we're going to dive into this, but it's also going to be the fact that we're not going to save everyone. We're not here to save everyone. We're not going to bring absolutely anyone inside our agency. We're going to be very selective, because that kind of goes into another thing that you were talking about, Kevin, on our meeting today, was another video from Hermosi, if you want to kind of expand on that, where it's, if you focus on the quality and the small amounts.
Yeah. So not to kind of bore everybody with it, because the paragraph is semi long, but essentially sometimes you kind of have to take a hit at the beginning. Like, could we allow a bunch of people into the program and allow them
we could
to
easily
pay
have like
us
50 to 100.
Yeah, we could easily have a bunch of people come in and pay us a bunch of money, and we can run off with it, have a no refund policy in the fucking agreement, and say peace out and
and
deliver
shit the bed.
half ass service and shit the bed literally. But essentially, whenever you want to have long-term success and you want to have a good reputation, you have to focus small. And when you focus small, you kind of take a hit financially a little bit because you could grow. You take a hit financially in what you could potentially make if you were to just let things kind of let the dam break, if you will, right? But essentially, if you focus on a small group, allowing certain people to come in and have a certain quality of person that you want into the program and focus on that product, your retention will be higher. Your retention will be higher. And if you don't plan on going out of business anytime soon, then in the long run, that retention and that good product support and your quality of people that you allow in will allow for a long-term success. And
Mhm.
sometimes people let, like, for fitness, right? Not every fitness client is ready to take you seriously, and it's not your fault. It's
Mhm.
100% not your fault. And sometimes we take on clients that they got somewhat of an idea that they want to be in shape or whatever bullshit they give themselves. Truthfully, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're giving yourself bullshit if you don't want to go to the gym at least 3 times a week and start something.
Go
Okay,
to the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym.
go
Go
to
to
the
the
fucking
fucking
gym,
gym.
do
Go to the
something,
fucking
right?
gym.
So as coaches, sometimes we take people on that almost like suck the energy out of us.
Oh
And no
fuck.
matter what we give them, it's like they're oblivious to the signs.
It's an
And
energy
we don't
vampire.
yeah, we don't want energy vampires into the program because we work hand in hand
Fuck.
with the coaches. And just kind of like the title of the episode on YouTube today is, we're invested into your growth, and we'll talk more in depth about this. But we are invested into your growth, not you into our course. And
Mhm.
that's the big thing here, is that if we're going to be invested into your growth, quite literally, we want people who are taking us serious and
Mhm.
want to be here just as equally, right? As
Yeah.
we want them to be inside the program as well.
1000%, and it's it's not kind of tied in. It's no, we're directly tied into it. So
Yeah, directly,
like
100%.
directly tied into your success. We're meaning like if you don't succeed, like then we're
We
kind
don't
of
get paid.
fucked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like but then it even goes further downhill for us at that point. So that's also reason why we're keeping a small group because obviously Kevin and myself have worked with multiple different mentorships throughout the years, and we built multiple different businesses. And the reason why we created OMG is because the struggles that we've experienced, and then the struggles that we've witnessed with a lot of these entrepreneurs and people that are wanting to build an online business, is that the mentorships that were being offered just it didn't suit us well. So this is why we switched gears from doing a mentorship and a course, and why we went towards an agency. So the biggest reason was is that the mentorships and the way the courses were, it just wasn't really in line for a vision that Kevin or I either shared with how we want to see others succeed. And we wanted to essentially we want to change other people's lives, but we want to do it in a way that's going to again allow them to do the things that they enjoy doing and less of the things that are going to burn them out. Because something that we both have witnessed a lot is that the coaches that get involved with this, they don't necessarily think about all the things that they have to take into consideration when growing. So they start burning the
Yeah.
candle at both ends, and then they hit a point where they're just done. Like Kevin, you've seen this fucking what? How many times?
Yeah, a lot of times. I mean, people just they come into this and they're like, "Yeah, I'm a business owner. I'm gonna, be on top of everything, and I can say that,
When is
I
exciting?
blah blah. I'm excited, right?" But the thing is like when it comes to this social media stuff, sometimes social media is what we want to enjoy. Like, quite literally, social media is what we want to enjoy. Online businesses, for example, we get on Instagram nowadays and we see videos of people just enjoying life. And yes, everybody posts their highlights. I get it, and you could probably say the pessimistic shit, and I'm all about it. I like throwing myself under the bus. You could probably argue with me and say, Kevin, well, people on Instagram, they only post their good shit. They never really post. Well, yeah, no shit, but like, wouldn't it be wonderful if you did have the option to post only good shit most of the time? And that's the thing. But if you're only struggling all day, every single day, you don't even want to post good shit. But most of the time, if people post good shit, maybe they have some kind of bandwidth in their life that allows them to think positively and allow them to post good shit. So say, think of it however you want, but I would say that the people who are posting a lot of good things and they don't post the bad things, at least are enjoying some aspect of social media. And that's
Yeah,
kind of what we want to bring back to coaches is the fun. All the calls that I jumped on, almost every single call that I jumped on for OMG for the coaches who were making the decision to try to join in was like, oh man, I'm not posting on social media. I know I need to be doing it, but I'm not doing it. I'm not enjoying it as much. Almost 9 out of 10 all said it. And every time I would get excited because that was one of our points that we were mapping out prior to having the sales calls with these coaches, that coaches don't have fun on social media anymore.
yeah, they don't.
Or just entrepreneurs, because coaches, OMG is not just going to be for coaches. OMG is going to be for other people
Well,
as well.
what was it? We made a post, and then we had a couple people say like, "Is this just for fitness coaches?" And
Yeah.
like, what one was two were realtors, and then one was like
Yeah. Yeah.
a car sales guy.
Hmm.
And but again, this goes into any industry because just a on like a whether you're trying to essentially build a brand you as the face of the absolute business. And again, this can go
Yeah.
into many different ways. You can add a lot of different things to it. But at the very start, you are your own brand. You just need to sell houses. People don't buy fucking houses because it's just the house, but they buy the house from the realtor that they vibe with, they connect with,
Yeah.
that they
100%.
saw, that they saw on social media, that they're like, oh, they have a really dope personality. Again, it goes off into what we were doing in the 90s and the early 2000s, which was what? Posting billboards and shit, right? You see billboards all over the place for like lawyers and injury lawyers and all these different things where again they're still projecting themselves as their business using their
Yeah.
faces to do it, and they're
Yeah.
enjoying those things.
Smiling, looking
Yeah,
like
and like
one
and that
billboard almost tells you the entire like vibe of a person. And social media is what it is for billboard, or social media is the new billboard, except you get a chance to post more of them.
Yeah, no, exactly. But it's not just you get to post more, you get to project your personality a lot more. But then
A
this is
lot
also
more.
some of the things that you were kind of talking about where they don't see all the different things that come into building a business, building an online brand, getting clients, getting people attracted to you, getting in front of the faces of people just so that they know who the fuck you are. So like
Also,
all these things. Go ahead.
I want to bring up one other thing. It's not just about posting. It's if you are brand new to it, you have to come to terms with some of your personality will have to change. Period. And a lot of people that come into this and they think that just posting however which way and not being entertaining is gonna just vibe and work. It's not. You have to be a little bit more outgoing when it comes to it. Like a lot of the times, honestly, I listened to this podcast of creators, and one of the guys on there, he's a professor. Okay, so very different industry. He's a professor, and he gets on there and he explains studies in his science career in college. Okay, and he's like, yeah, we make all these videos for nerds essentially. So a person who just wants to get on YouTube and watch our videos is just not going to vibe. But one of the things that I have realized in my YouTube career and in getting out there for our industry, which is being a professor in college, is that a lot of the time when you think you're being overly emotional or overly excited on YouTube and video content, it's actually the perfect type of excitement that you need in order to relate to an audience. If you are very under excited or just kind of blah, people don't want to watch you. So getting into a point and into a headspace to where you're going to be entertaining for people is also part of this. And that is also something that I know, Corey, you're going to talk to people about in OMG about. I mean, one of the questions is how comfortable are you with filming yourself? How comfortable are you with like our onboarding question? How comfortable are you with
Mhm.
speaking and filming yourself? And then that's going to be part of like that whole excitement part that you have to show up excited. Look, my
But
first videos on fucking Instagram and like Facebook and all that, dude, I was like cringe. I was like, oh my god, what is this? Like, what am I? But then over time, I had to realize that I had to get excited about the things that I'm talking about because people get attracted to that energy. if you want to be a coach that people look up to, and a person that people want to be like or resonate with, you have to bring good energy. Even if it's being hard, even if it's bringing that hammer down, if it's bringing fucking flowers, or if it's bringing hammers and flowers. Okay. Whatever, but the thing is, you got to have a good positive. And so many people jump on their posting. They're like, oh man, you know what, I'm posting, but I don't get traction. What do you want? Do people want to be like you? Do people want your services? How excited are you about talking about your? That's another piece too, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. And like, and content's just part of it. So like going back into like with what we're doing with OMG, it's not just helping you with your content. It's not just helping you with your sales, not just helping you with your lead gen. It's not just helping you do these things, but it's taking the responsibilities and the bandwidth away from you, that you don't now have to focus your resources on these things, because they're going to be just like for your fitness clients, they're all going to be planned out, they're all going to be directed. So that way you just have to now check off the boxes that you need to check off, while we are able to now focus on the things in the back end and putting our resources into what's going on to now build and scale your business, opposed to you being in our course, learning how to do these certain things, us teaching you about it, and then being emotionally invested into you,
Yeah.
saying, yeah, go do it, go do it, go do it. Yeah, I love it. Look at my clients killing it. It's no, it's, you're still going to do some shit, and we're going to teach you what we need you to do. But this isn't the point where we're giving you a course and all these things to go set up a business and go do all this.
Yeah.
This is the place you come to when you want to focus on the things that you enjoy in your business, while giving up all the headaches, the problems, the struggles, and the issues that come with building and scaling a business past 10K, past 20K, past 30K, and being able to hit those upper echelons of those income months without having to worry about all these different things that you're going to have to navigate and direct on a platform and a level that you've never been to before. Just like how fitness clients come to the fitness coaches that never lost 20, 30 pounds before, this is going to be the same type of thing. We are giving you the tools, the resources, but also we are hands-on invested into your business. So then that way, as you grow, we are directly tied to that growth. Where
Yeah.
inside of a mentorship, and why we decided to switch these gears was because a lot of these coaches that came into the mentorships, it was only designed for about 10 to 15% of them to be successful. And then out of those 10 to 15% of them to be successful, they were able to grow. But even the ones that would hit 10, 12, $15,000 per month, he was already a 10K earner. He was earning 10K a month and he was just fine doing it, but he got burnt out with having to do all the coaching, then all the growth and scaling, that just got to the point where he was just done. And when I
Yeah.
talked to
I
them,
mean,
he's
what,
working a
like
9 to 5 sales job.
yeah, four or five of our coaches already make over 8 to 9 grand per month
Yeah,
already.
but they're burnt the fuck out because they don't
Yeah,
want to
so
keep doing all
yeah,
this shit.
nobody wants to keep doing that.
But that's also because they come into these things, they don't understand everything that comes into it.
Yeah,
And that's where we want to come in.
one of the points that you brought up that in our notes here is like, we didn't enjoy seeing a small amount of coaches and entrepreneurs see success in the mentorships and fall off back to their 9 to 5s working or working for another coach. Is that I didn't enjoy that. And this is not just in the past year or two. This is also before. I would see a bunch of people, and even myself when I first got started, I was like, trying to make it work, and I would fall back into trying to get a job. And I wish
I
wish
hated those
that
conversations. I hated, like, do you remember
I
the
hated those
conversation you would have
conversations.
when they were like, I'm thinking of applying to be a assistant coach in this person's business, and I go, why? Don't do it, please don't. And I remember I talked one girl out of it, and she ended up jumping in, and she did really, really well. But like, anyway, sorry to cut you off there, but I just remember those calls were the worst.
No, dude, it really is. And even now it's like, the solution is to be like heavily involved with the coach in their business. It's
You
not
have
just giving
to.
them, because you don't really solve much. The big issue with all entrepreneurs is the time. It's not the desire to want to grow the business. Fuck all that. Your desire is there. Entrepreneurs
Yeah.
have the desire to want to grow their businesses, but the time, I mean, we were just talking about this right now. Like, we want the content, all of our shorts and like clips and things like that to go on our pages, but fuck time.
Yeah,
It's
like,
like,
it takes a
so
lot.
So we've been having conversations with people to help us out with that content. So if anybody is watching this now and you know of somebody other than the people that we've already spoken to, then great, let us know. But that's part of it, is like you have to learn how to delegate or just completely let go of certain tasks in your business. And not a lot of new coaches and a lot of new entrepreneurs know how to do that. So we made it easy to understand, hey, how do we get people in through the door? Like, this is a lead gen agency. We're going to help people. We're going to help entrepreneurs get people into the door. It's not complicated to understand. Okay. And if you're an online business or some kind of online agency, we can help you get leads through the door.
But
Right.
then it's
So
not just leads either. It's also navigating you on your growth and your
marketing
scaling
and
and
growth. Yep.
hitting all these things. So it's not just getting you leads to have phone calls. Fuck that. That's not what we do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's part of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
whole thing is a management agency where you're able to let go of certain things in your business to trusted professionals who have done this to multiple other businesses before and helped hundreds and hundreds of other coaches build past 10K per month. If you are able to do that and let go, not only does this open up your bandwidth towards giving a solid business for your clients and solid delivery for them, but also think about all the other things you can do with all this time back towards your families, other things in your life that you enjoy doing, going out and enjoying the life that you wanted to live as an entrepreneur, and to leave that actual bondage of you working for someone else or working for your business.
Yeah. 100%. And the big thing here is like, I get why people go back to their 9 to 5s. I get it. I really do.
Mhm.
I'm never gonna shun somebody down for saying like, if you got bills to pay, by all means, do what you got to do in order to pay bills. But if you're not quite at the burning end of the stick, um then hold on a little bit longer and try to get help when it comes to the things that will help you grow your business.
Especially this, if you look at it this way too, like here's a reason why I have such a problem with, like, again, I understand you got to pay bills, you got to make quick money, I get it. But then if you really look at it, let's say you get a job,
Hmm. Hmm.
you take a week of training.
Hmm.
Then out of that week of training, you're not getting paid for that week because it's going to go on to the next payroll.
Yep.
So that's going to be another 2 weeks. So it's going to
It's
be
gonna be
three
another two
weeks for
weeks
you to get paid. Another 3 weeks.
Yep.
So that's 3 weeks of you getting paid when you need to make money now. Then you're also putting, let's say, towards, let's say, average minimum, let's say 6, 7 hours, 5 days a week towards it. You're putting all that time towards that for the next 3 weeks to maybe make $800 to $1,200.
800 to
you
1200 bucks.
you put a fraction of that time in towards lead generation, booking a call, or even just you put that money towards, again, offloading that time towards people that can get you more leads, you get on more calls, you make it paid in full, you make triple that right away. Then also on top of that, you also get multiple other clients from that, and you also only work maybe 12 hours. 12 hours out of the 3 weeks of, let's call it 6 hours a day, five. So it's 30 hours a week times three. That's 90 hours for $800, $1,200. Really?
Hmm.
90 hours for $800 to $1,200 when you
And
could
then
spend a fraction of that and get clients, whether you're a realtor, whether you're a car salesperson, whether you're an online coach, whether you're a course seller, whether you're a content creator, whatever the fuck it is, you can spend that time, make exponentially more in the less amount of time. But it's because it's that uncertainty of your ability to generate that income on your own, and you
mhm,
look towards a structure of an established business that will pay you pennies on the dollar, but at least still say
mhm,
so.
yeah,
So yeah, so with what we do, we literally allow our members and our clients to get time back for their money,
yeah.
and then they make more because we're actually directly invested in towards their growth, because like just like you said earlier, if they don't grow, we don't get shit.
So let me explain how we are directly invested into the entrepreneurs that are in OMG.
Well, especially the difference between us and a mentorship.
Yeah. So um, when it comes to mentorships, typically mentorships have two working parts. There is client success, the client success management, and then the actual product itself, which is or a tangible product, which is the course. Okay. Typically, the course tends to be A1 explanation. Like a lot of courses are fantastic, right? And they give you really good, like if you've ever been on Skillshare, like those master classes and things like that that you can buy into online.
Mhm.
There's typically really awesome courses, but those are very low ticket because there's no client success management to it. Then there's people who have client success management, but they don't have anything tangible as far as like a course or some kind of plan of action trackers, things like that. Okay, so it's more so
Like
like a
consultation
mentee, like
calls.
consultation calls. And then there are the two that morph in together that becomes like a good mentorship with the client success part and then the actual product itself.
Yeah.
Okay, now the problem with that is that the client success management, they're not really invested into the ongoing growth because it doesn't really affect them after they pay their monthly for the cost of the mentorship plus the course. Okay, whether
Mhm.
that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, $4,000 a month, it doesn't really affect afterwards. Like you're invested, we're gonna guide you, but it doesn't affect the pockets of the client success
Yeah,
manager or one on one.
yeah, and that's what I call emotionally or motivationally invested into your growth.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm not going to take away anything from these mentorships saying they don't want to see you succeed, they don't care
yeah.
about. No,
It's
I'm
not
not
that.
going to say a
It's not that.
fucking thing about that because that's
It's not
not
that.
true.
They're
It's
just
if you
not
look
as
at it,
invested
yeah, it's if you look
between the
at it,
two.
yeah,
Between the two, they're
if
not
they
as
drop
invested.
off or they don't do anything,
It's got nothing to do with it.
no, the business might lose a client, but that's about it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So yes, emotionally, you're probably like, damn, I wanted to see that person grow, blah blah, whatever. Now, if the mentee feels that the mentors dropped the ball, then of course that mentee is going to give a bad review and say, "Hey, this person didn't give me any kind of help, or they helped me, but truthfully speaking, the course didn't provide any kind of like help for me specifically, or they're going to feel like it wasn't actually tailored to them the way that it should have been or could have been."
Yeah, or you know what, like there's still really good courses, and they're like, no, like the course is awesome, but it was way more than I anticipated. It was so overwhelming. I just didn't expect to do all this. I'm just not cut out for that. And
Yeah.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with. There's absolutely going into your content, lead gen,
Mhm.
conversions, deliveries, and then scaling in the back end, then automations, ads, emails, all these fucking things. Yeah, I don't fucking blame you. And you hire other people and now manage and delegate inside of that bit.
Yep.
Yo, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fucking lot. Not everyone wants to do that.
Yeah, so essentially, you're getting mentorship on doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way
Like
down to
the way
Z.
I look at it is like a university class, right? Like you go to the class, they teach the lectures, there's office hours for the client success, but then anything past that, you got to do your shit or you're not
But
going anywhere.
here's where college does it well, though. Here's where college does it well is that college forces you to do it over years. It forces you to do it over years, versus mentorships force you to do it over 6 months, 12 months. And yes, you can continue to resign. I get that. But there's a different pressure that comes with that because when you see certain people succeed a certain way, then you're like, why am I not succeeding that way? Versus college, if you're in a certain class, nobody can pass the curriculum of the class. Like that's the curriculum for the class. Everybody has to pass the same test and you're graded off the same test. Versus in business coaching, you might be in the same course at the same level, but somebody could potentially be doing 7 times better than you. And you're down here thinking, what is going on? Versus in a college course, like if you're taking chemistry, like one person in the class isn't over there studying chemistry too. Like you're in chemistry one. Like that's it. This is what's in the class right now. So it forces you to graduate into certain levels. Business coaching does not necessarily do that. Now, agencies are a little bit different. Okay, for all the agencies that are out there, the ads people, the people like us, and I don't know too much about this one, but it's something that I would be interested in for OMG. Like Cole Gordon, they're an agency that is directly reflected off of our success, where they have guarantees and things like, we don't have any success unless you succeed. And I think that is awesome because they keep track of how your growth is, and when they want you to grow, they get success off that growth. If you don't grow, their revenue also goes down. And we're talking growth in revenue, guys, not just growth in other things as well. But growth in revenue, let's talk about that first. If your revenue doesn't grow, their revenue doesn't grow. Just like OMG, if your revenue doesn't grow, we don't grow. In mentorships, if your revenue doesn't grow, we've already collected.
Yeah, like they're already growing. And again, like I'm not.
We've
I don't
already
want to take
collected.
anything away from mentorship. Like fuck, I've gone through mentorships. I've
Gone
built
through five of
mentorships.
them.
Like I've gone through this shit,
Yeah, I've gone through
and I
five of them.
think they're very valuable. Yes, do I think they really are.
Yep.
If you're cut out to be that person.
If you're cut out to be that person.
And again, there's nothing. I think everyone. I think at some point in time, everyone should take a mentorship at all points in time, especially if you're getting started. Because here's the thing: we're not taking people just getting started. Sorry. Like
Yep.
I love and
We're not.
respect each and every single one of you, and I love your ambitions, love your goals. But here's the thing: I'm not taking you from the ground up. This is to the point where we really focus on. These are the ones that have done like the beginnings. They've done the course. They have their initials where they're like, I just don't really know what to go from here, or they're just so burnt out from doing the things that they just don't want to fucking do. And I
Mhm.
completely fucking get it. There's lots of things I don't want to do in business, which is why Kevin does some of this shit at OMG that I don't fucking do because I don't want to do. There's a reason why I delegated shit in ELC towards the back end stuff and things because I don't want to fucking do it.
It's okay.
There's a reason. Okay. But again, I know what I'm good at, and that's building, creating, and driving shit forward.
Yep.
Okay. That's what I like doing. That's what I enjoy doing. That's why I brought this and why me and Kevin were able to work on this because those are the things we like about. And I always still just go back to this when we made that fucking joke where it's like, we'll do it for you, just we'll take a percentage. But again, like that's the whole thing is now the things that we're doing, and this is something I wish was offered more. But again, it's the ability for us to teach you certain specific things of again because you're still the business owner, we still want you to learn certain things about your business, but then there's other things where you're just at the point where you're like, yeah, but that's also why I got a management agency because I don't want to do that shit, and I completely fucking get it. There's lots of shit that I don't want to do, like I just said. So that's where we really focus on this differently, where we're not a course. We are a management, growth, and strategist agency. We are aimed here at consistently filling your funnels, whether it is organic, whether that is through ads or any automations, funnels, things like that.
Yep.
We want to do those to make sure that you can navigate the different levels of businesses as you hit them without having all the setbacks, the struggles, then spending the time, the resources, the energy to either delegate it out anyways or go learn about it, which is again is going to go take away from the other things you're going to do to keep your business thriving. This is why we developed this because we want to see people actually succeed with this, and we really want to see those who have tried to succeed to really succeed.
Yep.
Okay. I don't want you to be stuck in this part where you're like, you're debating going to work for another coach anymore. I don't want you to be there. That's why we're here because we want you to grow to those where you don't, where you start looking at things where you're like, this is expensive and you start looking at them as cheap. But you're doing the
I
thing
want
that
to
you
bring
love.
something up into this that I think a lot of people don't do. So some companies do it, and I'm not talking about just agencies and mentorships. We set up, you and I, we set up daily meetings, and then actually on Mondays and Thursdays we have two meetings. And if you were to count Pod-A-Holics, this is kind of like a meeting for us a little bit.
Yeah,
So
usually.
we meet fairly regularly where I've been in businesses, not in businesses but just like inside a place of business where I've talked to business owners of like, hey man, like how's business doing, this and that, this, I wish this could go better. And then I'm always, to be honest, I'm always afraid to bring up like, hey, why don't you maybe do this with your team? Sometimes this has helped like other teams go really well, because some people are so like afraid of doing things differently or doing more than is required of them. And it almost ends up making the conversation like awkward for me. Like this person doesn't get what I'm trying to say, and I feel like I'm speaking Chinese to this person if I tell them like, hey, if business isn't doing well, maybe the team isn't motivated. If you have problems with employees, maybe you're just not effectively communicating with them on a daily basis. If you're not growing enough, maybe your marketing plan isn't communicated enough. Why don't you meet with them a little bit more often? Why don't you have like a game plan on a daily basis? And I've always felt that I wanted to share that with certain people. And it always makes it seem like I'm a burden to them when I start talking about like growth. And for us, like, I'm glad that we are on the same page with meeting on a day-to-day basis to talk about all the things that we need to continuously add to make this like a really solid experience for all of our coaches in the program, to where we are willing to talk about it several times a day, face to face. And then, of course, messaging all day, voice memo, how can we improve this? Rather than some companies, they'll start and then they'll try to only meet one time a week or twice a week. And then when shit hits the fan, they're not prepared because they don't talk about the problems enough. They only meet occasionally, or they only meet whenever the fuck. And it just doesn't work unless there's a set meeting. If there's no set meetings, nothing goes well. I specifically wanted to do some real estate stuff with some people, and the person that I wanted to do it with, I was like, hey man, like one of the things that I need to have is a set meeting. And we just like, the meeting just never happened. And I knew it was gonna go hit the fan and not actually come into fruition because the meetings weren't gonna happen. I can't get them on the meetings, and I'm just like, dude, if the meetings don't happen, nothing ever grows, because then we're all just kind of playing a guessing game. So
Mhm.
we're constantly invested in it all day long. And the companies who do that do really, really well. Mentorships included and agencies included. But I
Yeah.
just think that that is something special that we have, regardless of whatever industry, that a lot of companies don't have. And
Yeah.
that just shows another level of like being invested into the coaches that are joining OMG.
Yeah, and I think that's the number one thing that we need to take away here is the fact that OMG is a management agency directed at building and scaling your online brand and helping you navigate the struggles that come with each one of these levels so that way you can do the things that you enjoy. But the biggest thing is that we're invested directly into your growth and it's not you invested into our course. And I think that's the biggest thing that we could leave our listeners here with. Anyone that is wondering about what OMG is, or again, if that has cleared up any questions you might have about what is it that we do, again, this is a management agency so that way those who have started their online brands have found some success with it but have either burnt out or have just realized that these things are just not meant for them. So before you go and work for a 9 to 5 again, before you go work for another business, before you give up on your dream, let's talk about how we can help you direct these so that way you can focus on the things that you want to do opposed to doing the things you don't want to do and burning out that.
Yeah. So essentially, what we're doing here, guys, is that we're helping you create a solid marketing plan. Okay. We're helping you really map out what your voice is going to be like online and give you a solid plan to then launch certain product like challenges. If you're a coach, we'll come up with more ideas for real estate agents and things like that, agencies and whatnot. And then we also get high level trained appointment setters in your inboxes to then speak about the products that you want to sell, or get people in your calendars to then, of course, talk about the kind of ongoing support you would give them in whatever product you have. So, for obviously, for example, a fitness client may sell a whole lot faster than a house. Okay. The whole purpose of maybe a real estate agent being an OMG is to spark up that conversation with the people who are maybe liking your posts of a lot of the awesome videos, maybe educational things that people don't know about real estate and how
Driving
that process
attraction to your
goes.
pages.
Driving traction to your pages. For example, a lot of people don't know in the real estate world how they're actually going to go about investing into a home, or buying a home, or how the process goes. If you made a lot of cool educational content on real estate, the home buying, residential home buying, people are going to come like your things, and it is our job to then help them engage with you, and then maybe potentially book meet and greets for you that then turn into paying clients. Okay, so that is what we do over here. We manage that appointment setting team over here. Okay, we make sure that they have great conversations that lead to more calls being booked. Okay, or more appointments being booked, whether you're a fitness coach or real estate agent for that example. And then also, Corey will work with you directly on the marketing side, and I will teach you how to sell. Okay. I will teach you how to get really good at speaking. Okay. Even though we're ratchet as fuck on this podcast sometimes. But no, we'll get you really good at communications, both through marketing with Corey and all the copy that goes in there, and then also with me on the sales calls and the actual verbal communication that you're gonna have with people.
So yeah, honestly, this is like one of the really cool things. And again, this can be organic, this can be through automations. These are the different resources that we put into your business. So that's the other part too, is we literally take our resources, our networks, our bandwidth, and apply that to your business. So that way you can grow and scale just like we've grown and scale ours and multiple others as well.
Yes, sir. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Well,
We got some
fantastic.
work
I
to
hope you
do.
guys enjoyed me drinking my beer today. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday. I
The
get a
best
break on the
Monday
beer
ever.
today. I already worked out today. Okay. I'm feeling sick. This is my medicine for the day.
Yeah,
Okay. Just
back in
one
the
beer.
20s, that totally would have been medicine.
Hey, you know what? Like
Back when
people
they had
give
keto.
whiskey to their kids and shit. You ever heard that? Give a
Yeah,
shot of
like
whiskey to their
yeah,
kids.
is whiskey and codeine. It was in like some bullshit brown bottle. It was actually that.
Oh man. No, but I'm glad you guys tuned in to today's episode. As always, we are here to serve you guys. If you have any questions about anything related to OMG or just personal life, like I love talking about other shit on here too. But if you guys have any other questions about anything, let us know. Pod-A-Holics episode 18. We are out.